Direction of rotation of central nuclei in galaxies. Other, opposite galaxies. To begin to analyze and predict the behavior of galaxies in the future, you need to know the direction of rotation of their central galactic nuclei. In physics, it is not possible to simply indicate the direction of rotation of something, without the magnitude of force, speed, or displacement, only through vectors. In order to get to the simple and natural, people, for some reason, complicate everything. It is not clear just why, probably, so that later, others, have the opportunity to overcome difficulties, encountering unnecessary obstacles. It would be better and simpler if there were a specific letter denoting exactly the galactic nucleus, for example, the letter I, with an arrow above this letter, directed either to the right or to the left, which would indicate the direction of rotation of this galactic nucleus. This would greatly facilitate and simplify the solution of many problems in astrophysics. Because there are times when you just need to quickly indicate exactly the core and its direction of rotation and nothing else. Why is it necessary to be tricky with vector quantities, not knowing the force, speed, and displacement, and thereby create unnecessary problems that slow down processes in solving operational problems? Maybe that's why, just take and designate the direction of rotation of the galactic nucleus in the galaxy. It will not work out quickly, perhaps. From here, all the problems that arise, with the existing confusion, in designating the direction of rotation, galactic nuclei. I tried to find on the internet, on scientific sites, at least some interest in the topic that excites me, the rotation of galactic nuclei. I hope to find a possible existing standard that has a global scientific clear approach, or at least an interest that obliges to indicate the direction of rotation of the central nuclei of galaxies. It would be the most reasonable, easy, and correct way, but it wasn't there. A mystery shrouded in darkness, or confusion, another, has not yet been given. People are mainly interested only in the galaxies themselves, the names of these galaxies, their place, possible location in outer space, and something else, in detail. It seems that people do not care in which direction the central nuclei of galaxies rotate. It is also possible, therefore, for many people it does not matter in which direction the galactic nucleus rotates. Milky Way, that, their native galaxy, in which they appeared and are located. You don't have to go far. In one video of one of the authors, the core of what appears to be the Milky Way galaxy rotates in one correct direction, i.e. from left to right. And already from another author, on another video, the core, again, of the same Milky Way galaxy, rotates, for some reason, in a completely different direction, from right to left. Not to mention that the core of the author of this video, apparently, not only rotates counterclockwise, but the galaxy itself, with the help of some kind of spell or miracle, twists in the opposite direction of rotation of the core of its native galaxy. How can people, looking at this, understand what is really going on? Personally, I was very surprised by what happened. In photographs, pictures, and even more so on video, with images of spiral galaxies, it is clearly visible that the direction of rotation of the central nuclei of these galaxies, respectively, is also visible in which direction the spiral galaxies themselves are twisting. Why do people allow themselves this? Perhaps this may be due to the existing complexity, or confusion, with the designation of the direction of rotation, the central nuclei of galaxies. And at some point, entangled with unknown vector quantities, seemingly talented people, who may no longer make any difference in which direction at all, the central nuclei of certain galaxies rotate, and hence the galaxies themselves, people, just they will say to themselves, yes, let them go wherever they want, and rotate there. And then they will draw, or create a model of a galaxy, with the wrong direction of rotation of the galactic core. If these people, arbitrarily creating images, pictures, models of spiral galaxies, as they please, knew how galaxies differ, having different directions of rotation of their central galactic nuclei, then these people would no longer allow themselves this. It is clear that astronomers are busy with serious matters, they have no time to deal with trifles. They give the galaxies found in space again different names, and code ones too, without going into some unimportant details indicating that the nuclei of these galaxies can rotate, having a different direction of their rotation, without attaching significant importance to this, worthy of due attention, requiring a certain order. I will try to shed light on this, yet incomprehensible, but important for everyone, topic taking place in space. I'll start from afar, so that everyone understands exactly why, such an attitude to this, and therefore to possible inaccurate astrophysical forecasts, makes me so angry. Groups of galaxies with rotating nucleus having different directions of rotation. Since there is no great interest in the direction in which the nuclei of spiral galaxies and other active galaxies rotate in general, I take the liberty of dividing these galaxies into groups, A or B. Group A galaxies whose nuclei rotate from left to right, clockwise. Group B galaxies, whose nuclei rotate from right to left, counterclockwise. Why, exactly autonomous galaxies and not just galaxies? Being inside the gravitational magnetic field of the universe, the galaxies, as grown-up children have their own universal independence due to the constant rotation of their own, independent galactic nuclei, which generate gravitational magnetic fields that allow galaxies to exist autonomously and independently. Galaxies, having their powerful autonomous, galactic gravitational magnetic fields, can move in the universal outer space, wherever they please, dragging behind them, strings of stars formed in the galactic arms of galaxies, pulling planets magnetized by the existing galactic gravitational magnetic field. Hypothesis: each autonomous, active galaxy has a central core that rotates with its own direction of rotation. Due to this direction of rotation, the galactic gravitational field that is formed around the zone of influence of this central nucleus, depending on the strength and speed of rotation of this nucleus, will have either positive or negative potentials. Based on this knowledge, it can be assumed which galaxies can attract each other, and which ones, on the contrary, will repel and never approach each other. Therefore, it is precisely those galaxies that will be attracted to each other that have different potentials, their gravitational, galactic magnetic fields. When the main central core of one galaxy rotates, for example, from right to left, and the central core of another galaxy has the opposite direction of its rotation, i.e. rotates from left to right. Unexplainable reasons for the existence of material worlds. Many people, for a long time, carefully observe the galaxies located in the visible region of the universe, examining them with their small and large telescopes located in observatories, and also follow the cosmos through telescopes installed in spacecraft, located in space. Why, in their minds, these intelligent people, carefully observing the existing large cosmos, do not form a desire to think altogether, discarding all existing disagreements, in order to try to understand what is the possible reason for the existence of the planetary worlds, as well as to understand in the reasons for the functioning of the material world that exists on their planet, the Earth in which they live. How in general can people find other worlds and other civilizations in space, if they cannot understand their own material world in which they live? Importance of knowledge, direction of rotation, galactic nuclei. Knowing the direction of rotation of the galactic nuclei of galaxies, it will be possible to say with certainty whether the galaxies are similar to our galaxy, which you can fly into without long adaptation, or the galaxies are different, in which micro-worlds, created from the rotation of their galactic nuclei, have a different, opposite to our micro-world, around the nuclear rotation of microparticles. The uniqueness of the worlds existing in galaxies is determined precisely by the galactic magnetic gravitational fields formed from the rotation of the central galactic nuclei, which have their own direction of rotation, rotating either to the left or to the right. Now you understand how important it is to know the direction of rotation of galactic nuclei. Much depends on this, and most importantly, whether the existing worlds on the planets will possibly be similar to our world, or not, and the creatures also possibly living in these other galaxies, will they be similar to us, due to the influence opposite internal micromolecular rotation of particles in their microcosm, or will be different, and to what extent this will have a negative impact on possible future contacts in space. Really, no one even thought about it. Perhaps now, astronomers and astrophysicists will take a more serious approach to the designation of the directions of rotation, galactic nuclei, knowing that galaxies can create, inside their galactic magnetic fields, a possible material life either similar to ours or another life formed from the rotation of microparticles in the microworld, which has the opposite to our world, around a nuclear rotation, and another, reverse, around the solar rotation of the planets, formed in another galactic macrocosm. It is difficult to name all, without exception, space nebulae, albeit beautiful ones, really active galaxies, because I consider it possible that the existence of material worlds is precisely in the field of active nuclei of galaxies that have gravitational fields formed from the rotation of just these galactic nuclei, rotating or left or right. I propose the simplest method, by definition, of potential collision threats of autonomous galaxies with other galaxies located in the zone of their possible magnetic interaction, knowing the directions of rotation of their central nuclei, based on the different or equal potentials existing in galaxies, their galactic magnetic fields. Galaxies whose cores rotate in the same direction will never get closer. These galaxies can be friends and like-minded people forever, literally and figuratively. Because the direction of rotation of galactic nuclei never changes, only in exceptional cases. Reasons for the approach of the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies. The Milky Way galaxy has a rotation of its central, or main core, which rotates from left to right, i.e. twists when the galactic core moves clockwise. The large Andromeda galaxy has an influence on other, smaller galaxies. The Andromeda galaxy is surrounded by approximately 14 dwarf galaxies, which contain several billion stars. Among them, there are also larger galaxies. This whole group of small galaxies merging with each other, having different directions of their nuclei, like the largest Andromeda galaxy with its main galactic nucleus, is moving, due to general magnetism, in the direction of attraction, to another large galaxy, the Milky Way. This large galaxy Milky Way has a different potential. Its galactic magnetic field is created by its central galactic nucleus, which has the opposite direction of rotation, forming due to this rotation, another galactic magnetic field, with a different potential in relation to the core of the Andromeda galaxy. As we know from physics, magnetic fields with different potentials, charges, attract, and there is nothing to be done about it. Apparently, this is what happens. The main one is the superluminal frequency tone of rotation, which sets the central core of the Andromeda galaxy itself. This galaxy belongs to a group of galaxies whose nuclei rotate from right to left, i.e. the galaxy twists as its main galactic nucleus moves counterclockwise. I can say with confidence that in this situation, in the future, our Milky Way galaxy will definitely approach the Andromeda galaxy. Disaster cannot be avoided. Perhaps this approach will happen, in 4 billion years, of course, if a miracle does not happen that will force the direction of rotation of the central core of one of the approaching galaxies to change. vacuum space as an intermediate link between the existing gravitational fields. Vacuum space, which has no beginning and end, is a free zone without gravitational influence, an intermediate link in which there may be material objects formed in galaxies with different directions of rotation of galactic nuclei that create their own special, galactic magnetic fields. So, an interstellar ship, created in galaxies with different directions of galactic nuclei, can painlessly be in the spatial zone, this vacuum outer space, without problems for its physically constructed material body. The problem can arise only if this interstellar ship, created in the gravitational magnetic field of a galaxy belonging to Group A, with the rotation of its galactic nucleus, will be in another gravitational field of a galaxy belonging to Group B, with its opposite rotation of its galactic nucleus. The consequences may not be predictable both for an interstellar ship, for material objects, and for living organisms inside this interstellar ship. In order for an interstellar ship to have the versatility of being in any gravitational magnetic galactic and universal fields, this interstellar ship must create its own gravitational magnetic force field, and moreover, not a weak one, which will also help it remove the problem associated with entering dense atmospheric layers, planets. But this is a completely different, technological, and no less important story. From the author. In fact, it is more correct to call galaxies autonomous, and not just galaxies, and then it will become clear that which does not yet make it possible to imagine and see the full picture of the functioning of the entire universe structure. I believe that it is the galactic nuclei that work in the center of active autonomous galaxies that create galactic gravitational magnetic fields, which, in turn, form the micro and macro components of these material worlds, which are formed and exist, due to the rotation, of these central galactic nuclei, located in the center of autonomous galaxies operating at ultra-high frequencies, in a vacuum. To be continued. Anatoly Sem, June 5, 2022.